On Kodiak Island, the team hunts land and sea for signs of an elusive apex predator lurking off the coast.
This is all chewed on. Look at the bites, the grinding. See it?
30 miles away, Tracy gets a lead from an intelligence contact she hopes will give her insight into unusual activity in the area.
Hello?
Hey, I got something for you. Do you have access to email?
I don't right now, but I can pull over and have access in a few minutes.
Okay, I'm sending you something right now. Let me know if you need anything else.
Okay, thanks.
Working in the military like I did, you make a lot of contacts. And for me, investigating cryptids is all about collecting information. Being able to utilize a network of people with access other people can't easily get is invaluable. But because of where we have to go, communicating can be a challenge.
We are in a very remote location. Obviously, internet's not easy to come by here. So in this car, I got a battery pack. I've got the ability to connect to satellite for internet. I've got my phone. I've got my computer. It's really an office on wheels. Wow. This is a 165-page document that was prepared by the Army Corps of Engineers, and it's basically talking about how 80 years ago, 10 tons of mustard gas, nerve gas was stored right at the facility that I was looking at today and disposed of in the ocean.
But here's why this is incredible. The sightings of the Kodiak sea monster started less than 30 years after the dumping started.
Mustard gas is a chemical warfare agent developed in the 1800s. There is little information on its effect on sea animals, but it is considered a mutagen due to its effect on DNA and potential to cause abnormalities during cell division.
This stuff kills people. This stuff causes birth defects, genetic mutations, and all of it was dumped in the waters here. I started out looking for submarines and ways the government was involved possibly in this. Here in Kodiak, makes sense. There is a Coast Guard installation here that's really large, and a submarine is a large submersible, but this is what I was not expecting, and I think this probably has a bigger impact in terms of what we're looking at.
When it comes to deep sea research, we are hamstrung by the technologies of our time. But for every step forward in technology, we discover something formerly believed to be undiscoverable or non-existent. I hope to see the day when our technological means can match the bounds of our imagination. And I believe sometime in the near future, we will have the ability to explore the depths of the ocean, much like man landed on the moon.
After 2 days of dead ends in their hunt for the elusive sea monster, the team regroups to determine a new direction.
Brittany and I met up with a really compelling witness, and at his estimate, 20-foot fin came up behind him and the surfer friends.
So 20 feet's a little exaggerated to me for no one else to see. That's massive. I mean, that's a sailboat chasing you. Based on what you're saying, the eyewitness told you, that's not shark behavior at all. So I would definitely rule out sharks as a large predator. But a large orca will come up and it'll show that fin sometimes. If you see an orca in person, Justin and I have seen real orcas in person, their dorsal fin is giant. So if it's a male and you're scared, I mean, 11,000-pound animal is intense. That's to say the least.
But the way this was described wasn't a dorsal fin, it was a pectoral fin, as if it was going this way underwater like this.
There was recently a new species of orca discovered, and they're pretty aggressive.
The Biggs killer whale is a newly identified species of orca that travels in small groups, preys primarily on squid, and has no natural predators. They have distinct features including a pointed dorsal fin, closed saddle patches, and unique oversized paddle fins that set them apart from other orcas.
So Tracy, you brought up a really good point about maybe we're looking at something non-biological.
I want to add another military explanation into the mix. I have a really interesting report from the Army Corps of Engineers. So mustard and nerve gas was dumped immediately after World War II into the ocean around the area. And so the question then is, what can this do to sea life? it actually can alter your DNA. And that takes decades, right? So I would imagine you would start to see mutations. It might account for some of the spottings of animals that don't look like animals that we're familiar with.
This is baffling for me because now this just opens up a whole new culprit that we never would have even thought about, honestly.
So listen to this. We did find a whale carcass. It's been there a while. It really was heavily decayed.
Could you kind of tell perhaps how it died, what could have killed her? You think it was natural?
We don't know what killed it. We have no idea.
But there was still flesh on it.
And it was pumping all this oil and juice out of its blubber. It smelled wonderful.
There's still flesh and guts on that whale. We need to grab some of it and mix it up with the chum.
That's awesome.
So if you get the boat out there and you can chum and see, I mean, it's going to be tempting. Because, I mean, that's tasty water to them.
Maybe it will draw in whatever creature dines on it in the first place.
So that just means that we need to get back on the boat and I need to call the captain like right away and get us back out there.
So are we coming up on the trench here?
Yeah, looks like we're almost there.
Start prepping the fish and getting them ready.
Armed with a new strategy, the team returns to the deep water trench they located in Kodiak Bay. They plan to chum the water and lure the mysterious creature to the surface.
Pretty pumped to be back on the water today because we're gonna run a brand new experiment.
Earlier today, Troy and Justin took flesh and blood off of the curvier-beaked whale that was beached.
Bro, that is gross.
So here, look at the blood coming out. You want to get a sip?
No, I don't want to get a sip.
Look at that. Come on, get you some.
Oh my God, that's gross.
This is the leftover blubber and tissue that, that keeps the whales, around all of their bone structure, kind of keeps them warm in the weather. This is pure blubber right here.
We then use that to mix in with some chum.
Chum is ground bait and blood that is introduced into water to attract large fish and mammals to the surface.
We think by mixing in the curvier-beaked whale, a possible prey of the Kodiak sea monster, we might be able to lure it out.
Troy and Justin are going with the theory that we're working with a known predator. This bait is going to bring in any predator, known or unknown.
I mean, this is exactly how they documented the giant squid.
Tales of giant squid with 20-foot tentacles dating back to the 4th century BC were always believed to be the stuff of myths. But in 2012, scientists lured out the mysterious creature and documented it for the first time in its natural habitat.
These biologists use artificial luminescence to mimic a panicked Atolla jellyfish. These jellyfish have a defense mechanism where they light up whenever they're attacked. This signals to larger predators that smaller predators are around.
At a local dive bar, Tracy interviews another witness of the elusive Kodiak sea monster, a commercial fisherman with historic insight into just how long the creature has stalked the icy waters.
All right, well, Toby, it's really nice to meet you. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with us, and I have a few questions to ask you, if that's okay.
Sounds great. I'm Toby Sullivan. I'm a commercial fisherman here in Kodiak. I'm also the executive director of the Kodiak Maritime Museum, and I write for the local paper on occasion.
There's been reports, obviously you live in Kodiak, of a sea monster around here. Can you tell me about those reports, what you've heard, what you've seen?
Well, I know of two incidents decades apart, but they seem to describe the same phenomenon, creature, animal, whatever you want to call it.
Where were these reports?
These were on the west side of Kodiak Island. Stories that I've heard came from people who I believe they saw what they saw. They're credible people. Some of them are friends of mine, and I have no reason to doubt them. Well, I will tell you that decades ago when I was on deck crab fishing, we used to joke around that there was some life form on the bottom, like genetic mutations or something. And he's talking about those chemicals that were down there.
So a colleague of mine in the government sent me this report by the Army Corps of Engineers that talks about 10 tons of chemicals, particularly mustard gas and VX gas, that was disposed of off of Fort Greely.
I actually was unaware that those kind of chemicals were dumped off Kodiak.
Well, you're welcome to read the report if you'd like.
Yeah. I write these monthly pieces for the Mirror, and this is a story right here. They're discovering new species all the time, especially in the ocean, just because it's deep, it's far away, we don't know much about it. There's a lot down there we've never seen before, so who knows, right?
We're there, let's drop the anchor.
All right, we'll tether it up, and that way, hopefully, whatever we've been chumming will be drawn in even closer to us.
Yeah.
Dropping the bait in the water to lure out the creature is the first part of the experiment. The second part of the experiment involves sound.
We're actually gonna be dropping a speaker in and using a hydrophone, and I'm really hoping for a lot of success.
This is sensitive right here. This is what picks up the sounds. So we don't want anything hitting that, so this is necessary before we throw it over.
The hydrophone is a super high-tech underwater microphone. It's very sensitive and picks up even the faintest of sounds, like a crab crawling along the ocean floor. We're gonna use a speaker as well. We wanna play some whale sounds, and we're hoping that the chum and sounds of potential prey can lure it out.
For many marine organisms, sound plays an essential role in critical activities, from communication to navigation, and even in hunting methods, where sound can be used to disorient or disarm prey. Some marine species, like orcas, have distinct language, with a unique dialect from pod to pod. Since the Kodiak sea monster is believed to prey on orcas, the team will use specific calls to try and draw it in.
We're gonna do everything we can to put eyes and ears on whatever we can in the water.
So while Troy and I are listening, Brittany's gonna be looking out topside, and Charlie's gonna be watching the sonar.
This whole case started with Sanderson and a sonar image. What we have now is far more technologically advanced, and that's gonna help us build on that investigation.
Hydrophone deployed.
Okay, so we're good here. All right.
Under the general heading of collecting, fieldwork and expedition are the most invigorating parts of the hunt. Printed and taped material acquired by secondary means is beneficial, but capturing physical evidence and having a first-hand account are far superior.
Okay, Brittany, Charlie, you ready?
Time to bring in some animals.
So at this point in the investigation, there's only a few culprits left that we can look into.
We're really only down to two things. Something we've never seen before, or it's going to be something in the whale family or marine mammal.
Or possibly mutated.
That's extremely large.
So I'm gonna give you the killer whale first. All right, ready? Boom.
The way it sounds, it's really clear.
All right, we've got orcas. Let's see if we can attract something bigger.
What about an orca distress call? That's really going to lure something big in, you know, and if you're looking for something that's not normal, most big predators are attracted to distress, and they're going to learn that behavior quick.
Let me see what we got here. Here's a distress call.
Let's just listen for a moment. Wait a minute, did you hear that? Dude, it's getting louder. Hey, Brittany! Britt!
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh! Troy! Justin! Hey, you gotta come see this.
What is it?
Look at this.
What is that?
I don't know. Were you guys getting any audio?
Yeah, we got something that sounded like it was coming from afar and moving in. What sound were you guys playing?
Distress call. Blue whale.
Look at that.
Yeah, blue whale distress.
Look at that.
We also had some killer whales a little earlier on.
I'm gonna go ahead and save this. That is.
We're not getting clicks back either, so it's not.
That's
I don't
not.
think it's a killer whale.
That is not nothing.
It's not small either.
No. I don't really know what that is.
Charlie is monitoring the sonar to see if there's any type of animals coming under our boat. And right when our mic started picking up a mysterious sound, an 80-foot-long figure popped up on the sonar. We don't know yet if these two elements are connected.
Good job, Charlie. Good catch.
Well, something's around. Something's big and something's moving with us.
We got data points.
I know, and
So
that
now we just have to correlate them.
is awesome.
The fact is, our sonar picked up something large under our boat. Combined with the sound Justin and Troy picked up, we could be looking at evidence of a large marine animal. But we have to dig deeper for more proof.